Everybody there was moved to tears, and I thought as I came out, I thought, I just wish there was something.
A silent battle is unfolding within the royal family, and it all revolves around Queen Camilla's sentence about Princess Charlotte's unexpected move to Windsor. On the surface it seemed like a simple transition, a fresh start, a new school. But behind palace doors whispers tell a different story. This shift threatens to upend the monarchy's delicate balance, placing Queen Camilla in an uncomfortable position. Could Charlotte's rising star overshadow the Queen consort's carefully built influence? Tensions are rising, power is shifting, and one thing is certain: Queen Camilla's sentence is final, and it changes everything. The move that shook the monarchy, the hush that settled over the Windsor grounds, felt like a quiet reckoning. Royal watchers had witnessed plenty of relocations, but Princess Charlotte's departure from Kensington Palace seemed uniquely significant. With her new home nestled closer to castle, questions began swirling about the deeper reasons behind this move. Quarters whispered that Kensington's stately corridors echoed with too much history, while Adelaide Cottage offered a fresh canvas, yet few believed it was only about change of scenery. People suspected family tension simmered just out of view. Observers noted how Prince William and Princess Kate phrased their motivations. They wanted something more grounded for their children, a normal school life with wide open grounds to explore, and perhaps fewer prying eyes. Yet behind the polished public statements, some insiders murmured about the looming figure of Queen Camilla. Though both households portrayed unity, royal confidence recognized the complexities. Camilla had her own path to secure after King Charles ascended, and the presence of such a lively, beloved young royal in Charlotte could potentially overshadow her from the outside. The arrangement was ideal. The children would attend Lamrook School, an institution known for holistic development and idyllic surroundings. Rumor had it Charlotte's bright spirit shone in class, her quick smiles winning over peers and teachers alike. She seemed ready to flourish away from the rigid atmosphere of city life, but quietly rumors began trickling out that certain corridors of Windsor carried whispers about Camilla's stance on Charlotte's growing influence. Why would a devoted grandmother figure feel threatened? This question alone fueled the rumor mill. Royal tradition is a delicate fabric, woven through centuries of protocol, alliances, and intricate family bonds. For Charlotte, the path ahead is uncharted. She's neither next in the direct line of succession nor an entirely private citizen, but her popularity surges with every public appearance, capturing hearts with her spontaneous innocence. Comparisons to the late Princess Diana's warmth inevitably surface. Some wonder if this move was orchestrated partly to mold Charlotte's future role, quiet Elle out of the immediate limelight so she can become the monarchy's hidden gem. Meanwhile, Queen Camilla is not oblivious to these discussions. She's navigated decades of public scrutiny. Her bond with King Charles was once the center of national conversation. Now, as she stands beside him, her influence is undeniable yet precarious in the swirl of changing dynamics. Each royal figure has a part to play, and Camilla's is deeply intertwined with the monarchy's stability. If Charlotte's star arises too quickly, it could create a ripple effect that shifts attention away from the Queen consort, and in royal circles, attention is power. Tensions appear polite on the surface, smiles and perfect courtesies at official gatherings, but behind the scenes the slightest shift in allegiances can spark friction. Already, tabloid headlines about Charlotte's transition overshadow certain Philanthropic projects Camilla championed. The optics are delicate, some palace. Insiders insist there's no real conflict. Just typical family adjustments, others speak in hushed tones describing a far more complex situation, one in which Camilla's watchful eye never strays from the granddaughter King Charles cherishes. The whispers are growing: if Camilla feels her stature could be diluted, she won't hesitate to defend her influence. Dark hints speak of decisions already made in private, as one long-serving attendant confided. When it comes to the crown, Queen Camilla's sentence is final, and it's bad for anyone who dares threaten the balance she's carefully built. Whether these words ring true or are just rumors remains to be seen, but for Princess Charlotte the stakes have never been higher as she settles into Windsor's storied embrace. A schoolgirl or a future power player, the gates of Lamrock School may seem quaint, but stepping through them offered a dramatic shift for Princess Charlotte. Teachers at this prestigious institution pride themselves on nurturing every child's creativity and character, free from the usual paparazzi glare, yet Charlotte's presence sparks a stir. Everyone knows she isn't just any new student, she carries centuries of royal lineage on her small shoulders, and that legacy shapes how peers and staff respond. Curiosity buzzes in the hallways, though administrators attempt to keep the atmosphere as normal as possible. Charlotte herself reportedly embraced the chance to run across the open fields, play in the orchard, and mingle with classmates from backgrounds. For her, this was more than relocating uniforms and textbooks. It was a real chance to say goodbye forever to the cloistered life she left behind in Central. Queen Camilla's close associates quietly voice concern, though she harbors no ill will toward the young princess. Some worry about how shifting public affection will affect Camilla's own standing. After all, Camilla has finally reached a place of relative acceptance. Overshadowing her carefully cultivated image could create discord if the monarchy invests too heavily in Charlotte's approachable persona. They risk sidelining the queen consort, who still works to fortify her influence. Allies of Camilla mentioned that forging her path was no easy feat, and any threat, even unintentional, might spark friction, at times even subtle remarks from official channels fuel the rumor mill. A single comment about Charlotte's bright potential can morph into a perceived slight against Camilla. Palace spokespeople rush to clarify no hidden meaning, but the press thrives on tension. Already certain headlines question whether Camilla's role feels precarious. So far, the monarchy stays unified publicly, yet behind those gilded doors the push and pull between modernity and tradition is intensifying. Meanwhile, Charlotte continues her daily routine blissfully shielded from the complexities swirling around her name. She shares giggles with classmates, works on art projects, and returns to Adelaide Cottage each afternoon, her parents doing their utmost to keep life simple. Yet just beyond her awareness, the monarchy's undercurrents flow strongly, hinting at deeper struggles that may shape her future and Camilla's in ways no one can fully predict. Charlotte's rise and Camilla's silent worries. The sun rose over Lambrook's 52-acre grounds, illuminating wide lawns where students played and studied. Among the 620 boys and girls, Princess Charlotte was quickly finding her stride. An enthusiastic child brimming with curiosity, it felt worlds away from the stately corridors of Kensington, giving her a more down-to-earth environment. Teachers noted her eagerness to try everything from arts and crafts to early field work in the school's lush garden. This was precisely what her Parents had hoped a nurturing setting that built confidence without sacrificing discipline, as Charlotte. Acclimated onlookers marveled at how seamlessly she blended with her peers. Admittedly, certain privileges came with royal status, heightened security, personalized schedules, but the Tyon's ethos insisted every child was encouraged to forge their own path. Outside the school gates, however, discussions about her eventual role in the monarchy never ceased. Many recognize that while Prince George stands directly in line for the throne, Charlotte's position remains nuanced, still within the top ranks of succession, yet not the primary heir. She walks a tightrope between royal duty and personal development. This duality captures attention within palace walls. Tradition, adult spares or siblings of future monarchs were overshadowed, sometimes left adrift without clear purpose. Yet times are different. The monarchy has learned, sometimes painfully, that each prominent family member can shape public perception. Charlotte's popularity is a potential asset. A bright, relatable figure could reinforce the monarchy's charm, offensive especially among younger audiences, but no transformation comes without risk. Some quarters recall the overshadowing effect Princess Diana had in her era, unintentionally shifting focus away from the crown's central figures. This caution resonates with Queen Camilla's circle. Camilla waited years for acceptance, enduring harsh media portrayals and public skepticism. Even now, her role as queen consort requires diplomacy and consistent engagement with charitable causes. She's steadily carving out her sphere of influence: book clubs, literacy events, occasional appearances that signal her interests. Yet the monarchy's heart often beats strongest where public affection lies, and that affection can pivot rapidly if Charlotte's star draws too much light. Might Camilla's efforts fade into the background? For now, Camilla publicly embraces Charlotte's fresh start. Quarters mention small gifts she sent when Charlotte first arrived, gestures of goodwill aimed at smoothing any potential wrinkles. Official statements highlight unity across the family, a fabric of shared support. Nonetheless, senior staff remained vigilant. Charlotte as a symbol of modern adaptation. Here was a young royal stepping into a co-educational, forward-thinking school environment, bridging tradition with progressive values. The monarchy's communications team subtly emphasized that the Wales family paid certain costs privately. Indeed, they hoped to project an image of modesty compared to grander eras, but the question lingered: was the monarchy truly evolving or just refining its public relations tactics? As for Princess Charlotte, her days were filled with reading circles, painting lessons, and laughter with newfound friends. The quiet gardens of Adelaide Cottage offered a calm retreat after the bustle of school. Charlotte's spontaneity endeared her to staff and security alike. She greeted guards with a grin, sometimes offering a quick wave as she dashed inside. Meanwhile, Kate and William relished the newfound space, breathing a sigh of relief that their children could explore nature with minimal intrusion. Yet behind that peaceful veneer, Queen Camilla's voice remained influential. It wasn't that Camilla openly resented Charlotte's blossoming popularity, rather she was acutely aware of how the monarchy's focus might shift. Every press article glorifying Charlotte's latest milestone risked eclipsing Camilla's carefully managed presence. Palace insiders reported closed-door conversations where Camilla reminded key staff that her initiative must not be overshadowed. Her engagements, particularly around literacy, had to maintain visibility for a woman who spent years under the harsh glare of public disapproval. Personal prominence was a hard-earned victory. Tensions inevitably manifested in subtle ways. Scheduling conflicts arose with Camilla's events, sometimes clashing with informal family moments that garnered more media attention. A charity meet and greet might be overshadowed by a candid photograph of Charlotte feeding a pony at a local stable. Courtiers scrambled to realign diaries, attempting to maintain equilibrium in press coverage. Some whispered that Camilla's determination to preserve her role had begun to cause friction among even the most seasoned palace officials. Then came the hush that spread through certain corridors at a private reception. Camilla had allegedly expressed a firm stance about the monarchy's hierarchy. Charlotte is precious, Anady recalled her saying, but let's not forget the established order. Whers circulated that her words carried a hint of quiet threat. When it came to matters of visibility, Queen Camilla's sentence is final, and it's bad news for anyone challenging her place. Royal power struggles. The transition to Windsor also affected Charlotte's relationship with Prince George and Prince Louis. Away from the formality of London, the siblings found new ways to bond. They chased each other across the cottage's modest lawn, whispered secrets under thick tree canopies, and reveled in a sense of freedom that Kensington's strict security protocols never allowed. Observers who caught rare glimpses of their interactions remarked on an unmistakable closeness. Charlotte, perched between an older brother who would be king and a younger one brimming with energy, formed a vital bridge in their dynamic. This sibling unity, nurtured by Kate and William's hands-on parenting style, became a significant part of the monarchy's public appeal. It wasn't purely ceremonial smiles at balcony appearances, it was genuine affection. Yet genuine affection does not exclude the complexities of royal life. Within the Wales household, discussions about duties and the children's evolving roles emerged regularly. Kate in particular aimed to instill humility, ensuring that Charlotte and her brothers understood both their privileges and their senior royals. While King Charles occupied the top of the hierarchy, Queen Camilla's public persona felt more brittle. She devoted considerable energy to winning hearts and with time had earned a form of acceptance. Yet acceptance does not equate to universal adoration. If the court of public opinion rallied around Charlotte, who seemed innocent and full of promise, where did that leave Camilla? Whispers of a rule recalibration circulated. Some believe the monarchy would gradually shift more spotlight onto Charlotte as she matured, leveraging her relatability to connect with future generations. Would that inadvertently diminish Camilla's importance? Insiders debated possible strategies, perhaps shared engagements linking Camilla and Charlotte together would quell rumors of a rival, or maybe the monarchy would carefully pace Charlotte's appearances to safeguard the Queen consort. Standing, no official policy emerged, but a subtle shift in tone began seeping into official communications. It was as though palace advisors recognized the delicate line they walked. They wanted to champion Charlotte without sidelining Camilla. Maintaining unity was critical, yet every passing day showcased how swiftly public sentiment could pivot for Charlotte. Only time would reveal whether her star would ascend beyond everyone's expectations, leaving behind a queen consort determined not to be outshone. For now the siblings' laughter echoed through Adelaide Cottage, innocent of the intrigue swirling just out of sight. The search for an elusive balance. Kate and William insisted that Charlotte and her siblings have space to grow beyond the gilded confines of traditional royalty. Their approach resonated with parents across the nation, who juggled school drop-offs and bedtime. Stories. In fact, it led some to question whether the monarchy was shedding its aloof image at last. Modernization was no longer optional, it was a survival strategy in a world increasingly skeptical of inherited privilege. But was every royal prepared for this shift? Inside Buckingham Palace, a few older sirs privately questioned the wisdom of placing so much emphasis on children who are not even teens yet. They argued that focusing attention on Charlotte might destabilize existing hierarchies, particularly for Queen Camilla. This queen consort had stepped into her role with methodical care now that she'd established a semblance of acceptance. The sudden rise of Charlotte's popularity risked upending the precarious equilibrium on the public front. Camilla continued her philanthropic efforts with unwavering dedication. She hosted reading circles, championed campaigns for domestic abuse survivors, and visited community centers. Her polished presence never betrayed her knees. However, certain seasoned reporters observed that these engagements received slightly less coverage if a new candid photo of Charlotte surfaced around the same time. Could it be a coincidence? Perhaps, but the monarchy never truly leaves anything to chance. This underlying tension exposed a dilemma. Fostering Charlotte's growth as a relatable princess was beneficial, but how could they ensure Camilla wasn't marginalized? Some advisors recommended joint appearances, though orchestrating chemistry between a queen consort and a schooler princess wasn't straightforward. Charlotte's youthful authenticity contrasted with Camilla's measured composure. An unplanned moment of genuine connection might endear them both to the public, but forcing it could appear staged, especially when moments behind closed doors were still tense between the two. The Queen's unspoken warning tensions reached a quiet peak during a private gathering at Windsor Castle, where senior royals convened for what was supposed to be a relaxed family afternoon. The mood at first was cordial. Camilla chatted amicably with Kate about a forthcoming charitable event, while William joined King Charles for a brief walk in the gardens. Princess Charlotte's move signals a major shift in the monarchy. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more intriguing content.